Okay, everyone, welcome back to Rooted and Rising. I'm your host, Choma Okafor. And again, this season, we are exploring the in between moments, those moments of seasons of life where we are not quite who we were, but we're not yet who we're becoming. And today's guest is Adaeze. And funny story, Adaeze and I met 12 years ago. We were both Ashrabi girls for a mutual friend's wedding, and we've stayed connected on social media since then. So I followed her journey through, her brave 9-year path through infertility, the pain, the miscarriages, the failed IVF cycles. And she's been so open and brave sharing her waiting season and creating a platform for other women that are in the wait. And I think her journey also has led her to become an author. So Ada, I'm so glad you're here to share your story with us. Thank you for trusting me with your story and introduce yourself to our guests.
My name is Adaeze Iwe, aka Mama Ejima, aka the chosen woman, aka many things. So yeah, I am a mom, a new twin mom. After this is my 10th year in my waiting, this is my 10th year of my marriage, and I just became a mom a couple of weeks ago, and my life just changed completely. I am married. I married to one of the most amazing men on earth. I am a writer and author. That's my book, Due Date Unknown. And I'm a community leader. Uh, when it comes to, I'm a community leader of women who are in their waiting season, those who have just gotten their miracle babies, or those who are still maybe going through, what's it called now? Secondary infertility. So those are the kind of women that are in the group. Also a social worker by profession and a psychologist. So that's sure.
A woman of many talents, and I love it so much. And Mama Ejima. So for those of you that don't know, Ejima means twins in Igbo. And so Adeze just had twins, and she's been calling herself Mama Ejima for over a decade in her waiting journey. So that just, it came to fruition. So we thank God. So I want you to maybe take us back to the beginning. When did you and your husband start trying to have children? And then when did you realize that this road might be longer than you expected it to be?
My case is very funny because we realized there was a problem by the 8th week of our marriage.
Oh,
So
so
we're
early.
still in the honeymoon phase, like seriously deep into it, and I realized I am pregnant, and we are so excited about it. But I was excited. He wasn't, because he wanted children to come maybe a year or two after. But I wanted children immediately. So I was ecstatic that I was pregnant. And all of a sudden I start feeling pains in my lower abdomen. My stomach is getting bloated and all of that. And then I was told that it was an ectopic pregnancy. And I had to do a surgery to practically save my life. Well, it was an emergency surgery. So even though as of that day of the surgery or afterwards, everyone was like, "Oh, you've got one tube." Even the doctors were like, "Oh, we checked your other tube, it's patent. You'll be able to go ahead to have babies and all of that, as many as you want. There's no problem. People have children with one tube and all of that." That didn't happen. So by I think 3 months, 4 months after that surgery, my uncle, who's a gynecologist, starts asking me if I've missed my period, that's if I'm pregnant. And I'm like, I'm not. And so we had to go back for 6 months post-surgery scan and test. And that was when we're told that, oh, even the second tube is it's not good. So 6 months into my waiting, that's my marriage. That's when I knew.
Wow.
That's when I started waiting. Yes, for me.
So it was quite early.
Yeah, very early.
Okay. And so how did that feel for you emotionally? We can maybe mention that as well as your husband, but you particularly, what did that feel like?
Well, it was very devastating.
Mm-hmm.
It was very devastating because I wanted to get married because I wanted to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about marriage was not what I was in for. I was going in for marriage to have children. I was almost done with my 20s, and I was like, I needed to get married. I wanted to have all my kids before I was 32.
And
Those
did you
kind
ever think about having children outside of marriage? Like, did you ever even consider like, oh, I don't need to get married. Let me just have children.
No, no. I didn't because of the kind of family I come from. So even though there was a time or two I thought about it, I was like, if I'm 35, in those days, 30 was was a big deal to be
Was a
30,
big deal, yeah.
married and having a child. So I was like, if I turn 30 and like by 35, I was not married, I'll probably go and have children.
Mhm.
But I knew that was something that would be very difficult for me to do because of my background, my family, my parents, nobody's going to support me. So I just wanted to make money. So I was all about making money just in case I would be able to, as independent as I want to be,
Wanted to be-
able to go on that journey, But yeah, so I really want to keep, if there's anything I really wanted in this life is my own children.
Okay, okay. And that's understandable. So you said it was a hard realization 6 months into the marriage. So maybe let's talk about that middle part, the miscarriages. Did you all then decide it was time to do IVF, or were you all still trying naturally at that point?
So by the post surgery stage where I was told that my second tube was not viable, I was already told on that day that my only option to have children was IVF. Yeah, so that was how the doctor told. That was what the doctor said to my husband, and it was the worst day of our lives. Really, I think that day was worse than the day of the surgery because the day of the surgery were just all about saving my life and being alive. But that particular day, it was just like a blow in our face, like a slap in our faces, where we're like, what is this? What is this? I remember sitting in the doctor's office that day and my husband just showed me his phone. What was he showing me? The cost of IVF as at then. And we were broke. So the money was
Mhm.
at the time, it was about 2 million, around 2 million naira in Nigeria at the time. So it was just so bad for us. Like he just showed me and it was like, what is this? And we could not just understand why we were in that situation.
Mhm.
So yeah, it, it was devastating. I sank in my seat. He just held my hand. We drove. The drive back home that day was very quiet. No one was able to speak to the other because we just did not understand how did we get here. We just moved from being pregnant and expecting to being told that without IVF and all of this money, we'll not be able to have children. And I think that was the day my husband really realized how much he wanted children because he was all about, no, I wanted to wait, I wanted to wait. But yeah, it, I cried because I could not understand why me. I am that person who I used to be that person who, when someone gets married, I'm among those that are expectant. I'm like, oh, are you pregnant? Oh, you got that. I just want babies. I just felt that was just the next thing after marriage.
So
So
did you feel when people would come, because Nigerian people, once you are getting married, the next thing is baby. There's in fact, as you are preparing for that marriage, they are telling you to be getting ready to have a baby. So did you feel somehow when people were constantly asking you how far, how's it going? Because people will always ask those questions.
yes, so I think one thing that helped me was the fact that I'm quite vocal, and people think that I'm quite vocal, I'm quite blunt and upfront, and in the Nigerian way, they will say I get bad mouths. So, so by bad mouths, I think it helped me for people not to be so bold to ask me those questions.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they didn't know what to expect as the response back. Yeah. So I did not really, really get people asking me those questions. They would just give you the look, drop a prayer for you, drop a wish for you, but outrightly asking me when are you gonna get pregnant. I don't on top of my head right now, do not I do not think of anyone. And I think my personality helps me.
Okay, okay. So as you all were on this journey of figuring out what your next step is, right? IVF is expensive. Well, how are we going to sort this out? How was your husband? I know you said your husband it was in that moment you realized I really want children, but how did he manage his emotions and your emotions? Because I think it's different for men and women, right?
So for my husband is a result oriented person. He does not dwell on the what ifs, the would have, could have, perhaps. He's all about the what next, and how next. So whereas I was quite emotional, he may have been emotional, but I did not really get to see it.
Okay.
I did not really get to see his disappointment until we had tried IVF. I think it was the fifth time
Wow.
that,
Okay.
yeah, I think it was at the fifth time that I saw how upset he was. And not with me, but I think it was with God at this point. Because, yeah. So he would be the one to tell me, "Don't worry, we'll figure it out." You know, this life is not all about children. I want them, but let's live our lives. Let's enjoy our lives. You know, always there to support me, push me, want to know what next I wanted to do with my life
Mhm.
and all of that. So he was now more about, so let's plan ourselves as a couple so that when the children, let's grow ourselves, let's make our home and our marriage conducive enough for the children.
But when
But
the children
um,
come,
yeah. So it was now just about building each other.
I like that.
Yeah. I know the emotional part of it that I would have seen was when I'll be in pain. You
Mm.
know, when I'll be in pain, when I'm taking all those medications and he's feeling sad and he'll be like, "Oh, I wish I could take this drug medications for you. I wish it was me that was taking all these injections." At some point, he would even ask for the doctor, "Just give me something to take so that just something, just yeah." He'll be like, "Just give me something, just." Doctor will be like, "If it's not broken, don't fix it. Guy, we don't have
Nothing,
issue.
nothing wrong.
Yeah, so we don't have anything to give to you." And it will hurt him so much that I had to be the only one
Had taken the paper.
sacrificing, yeah, doing all of that for us. Yeah. So I think that was the only place that I saw his emotional side, you know.
And
Yeah.
all your IVF was like the procedures are all in Nigeria, right?
Yes, on my Nigeria.
So how many
Yeah.
cycles did you all do?
I think on the in total it was 7 cycles over the period of time. Yeah. Well, like I said before, it was expensive for us at the time. We finally got to do the first one in 2019,
Okay.
and there was no room for the failure in our hearts at all, especially me, because I was just 30 or 31. So I was like, "Oh, this thing's going to work." Like, I didn't even think there was. I know IVF is 50-50. Even after I've done IVF a couple of times, I've told people that IVF is 30-70, and 30 is the probability that it works. 70 is that it's not working.
Mhm.
But for some reason, I was just so faith filled. Um, I was just so expectant. A part of me felt I was boycotting God to go to
Like,
him. Yes. But a part of me, the deeper part of me was like, God, please. So when we were done with the transfer and the doctor said, "Oh, we've finished our part. Now we are in the hands of God." I was I was very annoyed. I was like, "What do you mean you're sending me back to God for these 2 weeks to wait?"
I'm already feeling like I'm bypassing God. Now you're making it come back.
Like I know I prayed before coming, but somewhere in me I feel like God, you don't want to give me this thing, but let me go to doctor. Doctor will give it to me, like science will give it to me.
Mhm.
Oh, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen the first time. And then I fell pregnant mysteriously on my own and didn't know.
Mysteriously.
Because I'd already been told that
That
it's
you
not been
couldn't have it
pregnant.
naturally.
I didn't even check my cycle anymore. Anytime I saw my period came, I didn't care about it. I was just all about money, hospital appointments, anything to do the next procedure and the next procedure. So I missed my period. I didn't know I missed my period. I just started having pains.
Your period.
Yeah, I was not, yeah, so I just started having pains and then I was told I was miscarrying. And that was another time when it hit me really bad because I was so sad. Why do you give me something? And no, I don't even know you've given me something. And before I even realized you've given me something, I'm already losing it. So I was asked to stay on bed rest. They were pumping me with medications to help see if the pregnancy would stay and all that. I was on bed rest for over a month,
Oh wow.
but it didn't work out. So one day I just told myself, I'm not doing this anymore because I was spotting for almost 2 months, because I'll just be having, yeah. So at some point I was like, am I even sure anything is even left inside of me? What's all this? Again, in all of this, I would always hold on to God. I will always, because I'm a Christian, I believe in God. So I always hold on to God, and I always believe that God will handle the situation. So each time there was a loss, it used to make me feel like God did not love me. It used to feel like God did not listen, was not listening to me. He was not interested in what I was going through. Like I was not on his list of people that he wanted to listen to. So because of that, what I'm trying to say is that sometimes your faith can actually feel painful. Your faith can actually make you feel more disappointed. Your faith and your hope can actually make you hurt more. Because sometimes I feel like if you're not hoping on something,
Then you
you
don't have anything.
then yeah. But on the other side of it, even when you feel like you're not hoping, you're really hoping, because the fact that you are even trying, you're even doing one or two procedures means that you've got hope that something's going to work out.
Mhm.
So it's just a journey that takes you on a roller coaster. You feel all of the emotions, like
Mm.
you feel disappointed, you feel hated, you feel unloved, you feel you feel like it's all your fault. Like you make up things in your head. You convince yourself that, oh, it was this thing, it was that thing, it was this one.
That you did in the past or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You will
yeah.
convince yourself, like one of the things that I convinced myself for the longest, which is not unscientific, but is not also like 100% that would have been the case. But yeah, because I had PID, is pelvic inflammatory disease, at some point
Right.
in as a single girl, just shortly before I got married. And I was treated, I was on admission, I was treated in the hospital and everything. And I was told that I was fine, but asked to come back after 3 months for a follow-up scan and test.
Mhm.
I didn't come back.
Oh, you didn't go. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't go. And then only for me to realize later in life that ectopic pregnancies, that is one of the causes of ectopic pregnancy.
Okay.
So you can imagine how many years I
You're
had to.
feeling this guilt of if I had gone, maybe this wouldn't have happened and all the and you don't know for sure, right? But yeah, no, I understand. I understand.
So those are the things. So you're always you feel this guilt, you blame yourself,
Mm.
you you feel unloved. And then there's also this insecurity that comes in as a married woman when you're not able to reproduce and grow your family. It's already certain that you've got the fertility issues, and
Yeah.
your husband is totally okay. And I think even if it's a man, there's just this.
It's always on the woman, no, regardless.
Well, I thank God because we are now doing awareness and we're not speaking up about it. And we're not telling women,
Exactly.
not when your husband is the one who's got the diagnosis, it's not on you. Yes, when you're a couple, you're a team. So it's both of you, like, but it doesn't mean that you're supposed to carry this burden. Even as a woman with a diagnosis, you didn't create yourself. You
Exactly.
know, you didn't bring it upon yourself. I didn't know what endometriosis was as a single girl. My mom didn't tell me about it. Like I just knew I've always had painful menstrual cycle and all of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
My mom would tell you, "Oh, myself, I used to have it too."
That's so you don't have that education. So you
Yes, that education is not there. We didn't know anything about called PCOS or whatever.
Mm.
When girls, we never heard of those things. We didn't know there was anything called blocked tubes. Like there are a lot of things that we
The only
millennials,
thing they tell
you
you
know,
once you have your period, don't be near
that's
people.
it. Like woman, you get
Yeah.
pregnant, you have
That
children.
yeah.
So it's just something that uh women our age grew up without that kind of information or exposure and education. And so it's not your fault. And even if you've got all the education,
Mhm.
there are just some things that are beyond your control, no matter what. It's just like when people say, "Oh, lose weight." I've had IVF cycle where I lost a lot of weight, and they don't even produce as much eggs that I produced than when I was overweight. So it's not cast on concrete. It's just at the end of the day, a case of what will be. The one that will work will work. The one that God has agreed and put His hand on. Because if you are a faith person, if you are a Christian, if you believe in the order of creation that we read in the Bible, then you know that it is God that has created everything. And at the end of the day, it is God that decides who lives and who dies.
Exactly.
down to your embryos, because your embryos are already live, yeah. So it's good that it determines which of the embryos eventually lives inside of you or dies off, or
So
even goes on to be miscarried in the future because
yeah, that's true. So I guess if we talk about the waiting season that you're in, how did that waiting start to shift from something that's happening to you now deciding, oh, I want to build something from this. I want to create a community for other women, the chosen women. How did you get that spark?
I didn't decide.
Hmm.
Again, I don't know. I'm making this talk. I don't know how to talk about my waiting without talking a lot about God and my faith. Yeah. I didn't decide. For the first 4 years of my waiting, I was hiding. I was almost going into isolation. I was quite ashamed of myself because, and it hit me more during COVID because there was this whole COVID baby thing fever that
Yes,
was.
many people were getting pregnant.
Everybody was saying, oh, if you stay in the house with your husband for 2 months, 3 months, you don't get pregnant. Ah, know that there's. And they were saying it genuinely the right thing, but it was hitting some people really hard, and that was me inclusive. Because I was like, God, if I don't get pregnant through this lockdown, it's very, very, very obvious that I have a problem. All this time, people around me do not know I have a problem.
Right.
Everybody is still thinking, oh, she has gotten pregnant before, she lost it at 3 months. That is a beginning to die off, you
Mhm.
know. And I'm like, please. And so that's the pregnancy I told you that I was miscarrying. So I actually got pregnant during lockdown without knowing. So, I made this prayer, then I was not even sensitive to maybe check myself to know if my prayer had been answered and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So at some point, it was like an instruction really to start talking about my waiting journey publicly, to just start sharing. I also, yeah. So, and I did not listen for like another 2 years or 3 years before I started talking about it. So, so it was not what I decided to do. And I reluctantly just started posting short videos because I already had this series I used to do then on marriage and relationship, Frank Talk. So talking comes easy to me.
Mhm.
And this time around, social media was now moving from the long episodes to doing
But
video. So I wrote the first one. I saw some reactions. I just basically would just write what I'm feeling at the time. And then somebody come to my DM. Those days, women were not even bold enough to comment. So they'll come to your DM, they'll say, oh, how do you do it? I don't understand how you're living your life. You're so happy. You're the I'm just 2 years into my marriage and I can't even breathe. And I will encourage that person in the DM and tell the person to I'll just say stuff. Anything that comes to my mind, I'll just say it. And then I just realized that people started coming to my DM a lot to ask questions. But I could make a post this month and I'll not say anything again about fertility until another six
yeah,
months.
yeah.
So there was a particular year that I think maybe I talked about fertility, 2022 or so when I started. I think I just talked about infertility 3 times in the whole year.
Mhm.
But every new year, I will hear that prompting again. You've not done what I've asked you to do. You've not. And then I want you to document your journey, in a book. You're supposed to write a book. I say, I'll write now.
Mhm.
9 months is long enough for me to write a book. When I see pregnancy that has come to stay, I will do it. But it will not happen. So on this particular day, I've moved to the UK. I'm quite lonely. Like the loudness of my infertility is now very loud because already I'm out of my space where I've my family, my environment. I'm not all alone. It's now very glaring that this thing is really bad.
Mhm.
And so
And your husband wasn't with you at that time. It was just you.
he was with me, but when we moved to the UK, he was working. He's always worked in another city, and I've always been in another place. So yeah, so I'll always be by myself. And my thoughts, it was excruciating. It was so bad. Like I've never seen silence. Like silence was deafening. I could hear my heart beat those days, and so it was very, very clear. It was very, very easy also to hear any other external voice that was speaking to
Voices.
me. It was also easy to hear it. And so one night like that, I just got up and I just started writing. in my Samsung
Oh,
phone. I was just typing what was coming to my mind about my weight and just started writing. That was how I started writing my book, I think in 2023 or so. And
oh,
then that gave me the courage. There was in 2024, there was a challenge, of course, challenge. You know, of course, I'm this. Of course, I do this. And then, if you remember that challenge, and so that day, I spoke to one of my friends. She's in Canada. She has a special needs son. So we're just talking about it that day, and she said, she wants to do this, of course, challenge. She too, she has also been having this push to talk, have a community of women, parents who have special needs children, and we've been talking about it offline. Two people that have different problems, not the same, but
but yeah,
eh,
different things you're struggling with. Yeah.
exactly. And then we encourage each other to do that challenge.
Mhm.
And then we did that challenge. So I say I am I don't have it. I can't remember what I said. Of course, my birthdays are very sad. My anniversaries, I don't see them saying different things.
Very honest about your journey.
Yeah, I was quite honest, and to be frank, I removed a lot of things because a lot of things were too
Too
at
honest.
that. Yes, yes. So a lot of things I said while I was recording felt too much. Too Yes. I think I might have ended up saying all of those things by now, but as of that day, I was just
All right.
baby steps. Yes. So I posted this, and then that same day I made different other videos. And that was how I just started now becoming bold to talk about it from 2024 to now.
And
Yeah.
why do you feel, as you started this, why do you feel that support matters so much for women in the waiting season? And what have you learned from having this support community? Like, how has it been helpful versus, you know, potentially how could it not be helpful, maybe?
So trying for children is quite infertility is quite sensitive. It's a sensitive topic. It's something that people don't even talk about. It's something that even those who have been on that journey and had their children are not even so comfortable to talk about it with someone else who's on the journey. It's just a funny thing. But I came to understand that infertility or not having a child is just like not having a job, not having a car, not having a house. It's just like any other thing that we are trying to achieve or acquire in life, trying to have children. And so, why am I supposed to be able to come and make fun about being broke, and I cannot make fun about not having a child? Why will I be able to talk about or encourage someone? Oh, don't worry, just keep sending those applications, you get the job. And I cannot now tell you, oh, just keep going back to the doctor or keep praying or keep doing both. God may, and why would I not be able to say that? So, um, but then because of where we are now, especially in our culture, in our society, and I think even abroad, because even in the UK, I don't even see people so comfortable having that conversation. So
People don't
generally,
even ask most times.
yeah. Exactly. So generally, it's not just something people are big on speaking. And then there are emotions that you go through as a woman in this season of waiting that those who are not in that journey will never understand.
Hmm.
If the person is still if your friend is still single,
Hmm.
your friend will be looking at you as, are you okay? You even have husband and you are complaining. Then your friends that have children cannot understand, they can't relate. Because when you're complaining about what you're complaining, why you are still trying to talk about it, you're they are speaking to their child, they are running around, they're telling you, oh, let me go and do school run. Oh, they are even cutting you mid conversation because that's their reality. They have to go on and take care of their family, right? So there are also some things that you want to express sometimes that someone who's not walking in your shoes will see you as a bad person. For example, somebody is on her third child, your best friend is on her third child, and you're like, oh God, now wow, me in call.
Right. But you can't
Somebody
speak
by
it.
the side that already has children be like, what do you mean? They're quite dismissive with their response. Mm-mm. Why are you saying that? Please be happy for your friend. Your own time will come.
Mhm.
That's not what it's about. I'm not unhappy for my friend.
You
I
can
am
have those emotions side by side.
exactly. If it taught me that joy and sadness can cohabit.
Mhm.
Yes, they can so cohabit, like disappointment and hope can be together like this in the same time, at the same time. And it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what that community has shown women is that we are in a space where we are all we can express ourselves. We can say what we want to say without feeling judged, without being shut down, without being dismissed, without being seen as someone that is, you can also be seen as someone that is insensitive, even though you are talking from your place of pain.
Yeah.
So that's what the community has done for a lot of women. And when we discuss on in the community, I see that expression. They have even gone on to make personal friendships that they are helping each other. You know, we have gone on to separate the community. Now we have people in the US, in the UK, in Canada. We've got groups, yeah, in the community so people can meet offline. You can help out offline. We have people who are able to, oh, I don't have money for this medication. You give money. Okay, take it. You know, so there's just this. Whenever I tell people that a woman who is going through fertility, what she needs the most, aside from your prayers or your whatever, is money, because infertility is very, very expensive. I know that raising children is very expensive, but like I would say, when I went to buy milk, Pampers, I know I'm buying it for a cause. I can see what I'm buying it for. But when I'm going to the doctor to pay millions, there's no guarantee I'm going to get that back. So that kind of spending is actually more painful and more sacrificial than the one that you're doing when you already have a child. And then when you're spending on infertility, you're spending the millions in bulk, the thousands of pounds or dollars in bulk. But when you raise your child as per your pockets.
Wanting as exactly.
Yes, as per how you earn. So
And
so but
I was wondering, sorry, I was just wondering, did you ever think about, and I'm sure people brought it up to you, like adopting? Did they say, oh, go and adopt? Like, must you have your own child? Like, did that come up in conversations, even with you and your husband?
again, outsiders cannot tell me some things because my mouth is not good, I believe. But yes, my husband in our 50th year of our marriage, after we had our second failed IVF, he was like, let's just adopt.
Mhm.
But the things like I heard from my mom, family members that could say it was all about, oh, adopt. I've seen this person who adopted and afterwards they had their child. I've seen this person. So the mindset that where people were pouring into me was not wholesome for adoption. Because I would say when the day I finally spoke, or when they are speaking to me about it, I just keep quiet and I'll just listen. I'll be like, I don't know. But then there were just a lot of just do it, your own will come. And I keep asking, so who owns the one that I adopt when I eventually get my own? So the mindset was not right at the time. I didn't like the mindset. I didn't want that because I keep asking myself, if I adopt a child and I go on to have, as in get pregnant, will my adopted child still be my child? Yes.
Because of the way.
Am I going to? So yeah. So what am I going to be doing with that child when I now start feeling like the child has? Am I trying to use this child to have my own? Is it a tool? That is one. Secondly, if I adopt that child, and because my mindset is already, or what everybody's saying around me, don't worry, adopt. When they cry, your baby is in the home. You used to bring baby, right? That's the belief. When I go on and adopt that child and I don't get pregnant,
Mhm.
will I see that child as a disappointment? How will I feel about the child? So I needed to get my mindset to a place where I was comfortable with adoption, that when I adopt, I'm done. This is it. That was what made us not adopt at the time. And then we left the country. And then adoption from Nigeria to UK is banned. Yeah, and then there are a lot of other things that have been happening between me and my husband. One not being that we don't live together, and that means that we don't have like a big house, so we cannot even go on the list for adoption in the UK. So that was going to stall us. Whereas we already had this other plan, saved embryos in Nigeria with plans to continue to, you know, implant them to have our babies. So we're just like, okay, let's just exhaust our embryos or whatever, and then we are here now. One thing that I've learned from community is very, very important for if you are going through something, especially fertility, have people. There's a way our people think, Black people, there's a way we think. We think that when we associate ourselves with what we are going through, it means that we are accepting it. No.
Yes. That's what I was going to ask you about myths and conception.
Yeah, I got a lot of people telling me, oh, stop using the word infertility. I'm not infertile. I'm like, okay, give me another word.
Mm,
And I said, give me another word. You think I didn't struggle with using that word infertility? But what is infertility? Infertility is the inability to be able to have children. And the fact that you've got a diagnosis that is stopping you from naturally conceiving. That's what infertility is. So why do you have a problem with me using the word? Superstitious belief. You have people that will say, oh, yeah, I'm in your DM, but I don't want to join the group. I don't really want to join the group. I say, yeah, I understand because you don't want to think, you don't want to believe that you have accepted your condition and then you are now, maybe we are now turning to miserable. How is that thing they say? Misery likes company.
like,
No, it's not a misery like company thing that we are doing.
mm,
Like, oh, you read my mind. Yeah, I say, yeah, but take your time if you feel like you don't want to be in the community. But I tell you, even for me, that community has helped me. One thing it helped me for was that all this time I used to be very upset with how much we spend on IVF. I used to be very, very upset with it. It used to be one thing that I was like, every time I was like, oh, we are spending, I'm always talking about money spent.
mm,
But this community taught me that, made me become grateful to be able to afford.
that you even have the money to do it. Mhm.
That was the major thing that I think it has, apart from me being able to express myself, gist with them, hear other things. I've also learned a lot of other infertility diagnoses that I've never heard before.
Mm,
I've also come to know that there are women who have waited longer than me, way older than me in that group, 17 years of marriage, 25 years of marriage. They don't have children yet, and I'm still just within my first decade. So there was this, now no bad like that too. That it even, do you understand? Sometimes when a woman finish saying what her diagnosis is and how long she has waited, I'll be like, God, sure you will not leave me and answer this person first, you know. So it made me appreciate a lot of things. It made me become less critical of myself and less blaming of myself and less um I don't know, feeling unloved.
and you were not alone ultimately.
Yes, there's just this thing about when you know that this thing you're going through, you're not going through it alone. There's just this, I don't know, it's not peace per se, but there's just this rest or this calm that it gives you to know that this thing is not only me. Oh. We be many. And I also see people that are coming out of it. And that means there's a way out. One day this is going to end for me. Because so far we have women who have gotten pregnant in the last couple of months. The month I gave birth, two other women gave birth. So we have like 4 new babies in the community. And you know the kind of hope that that has sparked up for a lot of people. Yes. So that's it for me. Yeah. So you wanted to ask me something.
No, I was just saying, so now you have your twins. You have a boy, you have a girl. Can you maybe talk a little bit about the moments when you realize it's finally happening? Like this thing I waited for so long. And how did you feel in that moment?
Choma, I cannot describe this thing. Oh. It's not, I can't describe it because I went through a lot of emotions, you know. I I went through a lot of emotions. First of all, very excited. Oh, you're pregnant. Oh, then next time scan. And in my journey, we've never gotten to the point of scanning and getting heartbeats and
Wow.
seeing anything. No, we've never gotten to that point. So
Okay.
in my IVF journey, so this time around, we're now doing scan. You know, you didn't miscarry it, you didn't lose it, it was not a failed IVF cycle. Now you're at that point. So there was just a lot of anxiety between the after confirming pregnancy to the first scan. It was just anxiety. Are we going to get there? Are we going to get there? Are we going to get there? And then on that day we get there. And I remember telling my embryologist on the phone that, oh, I'm very sure that because we implanted 3 embryos. I was like, I'm not taking anything less than 2. And she's like, no, Dad, let's just get one healthy baby. I said, no, 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 no. I am Mama Jima. God is not going to shame me. I have called myself Mommy Twins for almost 9 years now. And
You
this
spoke
is
it, you
just,
spoke it into existence. Hmm.
and then she's like, so it looked like we're going to go back and forth. And I said, you know what, bye bye. I was not going to allow anybody to. dampen my spirits. I just say, bye-bye. After all, I put 3 embryos, 3 life. Why am I not going to get 3? In fact, I want 3. You know? So the day we now did the scan and then we now saw them with 2, I was ecstatic. I was jumping. I was so excited. I was like, and then yeah. So there was excitement. There was a lot of fear.
Mhm.
I could not speak about it for the longest. All of this time, I would discuss to my husband over text messages because I didn't want to talk. I didn't know whether there's any force around my house. I was listening in. I'm telling you, I was like, you know what? We need to take the devil by surprise.
Because the devil cannot read text messages.
I tell you. So I'm like, we were talking, you know, text message. We didn't. Well, I said we didn't used to speak it out. Like it was crazy. And then I realized that there are 2. I was so happy. Then I was so afraid, very much afraid. There's this kind of joy you will feel that the fear of losing that joy will now be stronger than the joy.
So,
That is what I felt for almost throughout the pregnancy.
wow. Wow.
Yes.
So it's almost like you didn't even get to like truly enjoy being pregnant. How women are always showing their bump and all those things. Did you get to have those moments, or you were just kind of like, I just want this thing to come, let them come out and be healthy and yeah.
That was it. Just let them come out, let them just be healthy. That was it. That was it. Let them get to at least 37 weeks. Let them get to 37 weeks. I don't want to be in the NICU. I'm having my children in Nigeria. My husband will have to go back. I don't want them to um I don't want him to spend all the time in the hospital. I've heard a lot of things about twins. I've read, I've watched how they come out maybe 20 something weeks, 30 weeks, and then you stay in the NICU for like 9 weeks, 5 weeks, blah, blah, blah. So it was all about God. I wanted to get at least 37 weeks and then we can have them and all of that. And it happened the 37th week. So yeah, they came out very healthy, crying. The moment anyone comes out like this, before the mouth even come out, they start crying, crying. And then yeah, and now
The crying you didn't hear for 10 years, you're hearing it.
man, these children can cry. One day, like I was getting upset, and Poppy just told me, "Cry of a baby." She mean that's what you have been praying
That's
for.
what you wanted. Yeah.
You see? I was like, yeah, I think I shouldn't have said cry of the baby. I should have said giggles of the baby because
Laughter of a baby, sleeping sounds.
I'm going to tell anybody when you want to pray. Don't say I want to cry of baby. You cry of baby. It rings in your ear. Now I might be in the bathroom and I will hear the cry. I will run out. Nobody's crying. I now hear how
Yeah.
cry in the brain. You know. So now that they are born, I don't know. I don't know that I feel excited. That's not the word. Because from the moment they were born, all I could think about is caring for them, nurturing them, keeping them alive. Are they okay? What is it? So I've just been in that whole mode of care. And there's also what I know I feel most of the time is sometimes I go into shock. I'm like, is this really happening? I feel like I'm dreaming. I am like, even this morning, I still looked at both of them and said, Mommy, are this mine? Like, these are my children. Can you see this? I said, Mommy, this is my children. She just smiled. I said, Mommy, these are they are mine. So I'm still in a lot of, I don't know, like dreamland per se. But when it comes to excitement, I don't know what they mean by that. Anybody asks, are you excited? I don't know. But it's so interesting. That's the word I can see. It's interesting to watch how in just few weeks they have developed, they have changed, they have moved from being very frail and tiny to putting on weight. The other day we went for immunization and they took their weight a few days ago and I was dancing and everybody was looking at me, what's wrong with you? I said, you don't know the weight we are coming from. I was so excited that my children are put on weight. So for me, it's just milestone. Are they meeting it? Can they see me? Can I hear it? I just want to be sure that they are okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then from time to time, I'll feel, and maybe is this my life now? And there's a lot of exhaustion too, because when you don't sleep as much, or your sleep pattern is distorted, or
So they're stuffing you up.
with all the carbs. So right now, I'm just in that whole caregiver mode. Motherhood is amazing. Like there are some things that I saw people do, and then when I do it now, I'm like, "Eh, I thought I said I would never do this." My husband is something else. The guy is something else. Like, Charlie with the girl, with the daughter, he's like, my husband would never do video call. Now my husband does video calls. He doesn't like video calls. Like, oh, video calls give me anxiety. It makes me, it makes me unsettled. It makes me, I have to focus when I'm talking to you. Now he calls on video call. When my husband hears someone calling a woman angel, say, ah, are women angels in heaven? Are women? His daughter is my angel. Oh,
Oh,
angel. Oh, my lovely girl. He's a mess.
I love it. I love it so much. So let's like start to round. And I do have a question though. So maybe my second to last question. If you were to meet yourself from 8 weeks of marriage to you now, if you met that Adaeze that experienced the miscarriage and everything, what would you tell her if you met her today?
Hey, how will I tell her? I don't want to say relax because that's not going to cut it. Because there's no woman who is trying to have children will ever relax, no matter how much you say it to her. But what I'm going to say to her is don't relent.
Mm.
Yeah, don't relent. Don't give up. You want to have kids, do what you can. Go all the way and, you know, do it. Just do what you can do. That's what I'm going to say to her. Because there were many times when I said, I'm not doing again. I'm not interested. I'm not, in fact, I'm not marrying. There was a time I wanted to leave for Australia, and my whole plan was to go to Australia without my husband and cut him off and let him go and marry someone else. Like that's how deep the trauma was. So there was a lot of insecurity. I would have just told her, I would have lived, I would tell her to leave more. All the things that you want to do it more. Like I feel like I lived, but when I now as I'm looking at my life like this, my life is over.
Different. It's not over. It's different.
Yeah, but that's why I put it in quote. Like there are lots of things that I can do. So I would tell her to leave, go away, go on that trip. Do anything you want to do. Yes, meet up with the doctor's appointment. Do everything you want to do. Don't relent in your quest for having a child, but enjoy your life. People see me as someone that really enjoyed, but I know I didn't do anything. Sincerely, I did not. I would have told her enjoy yourself. Just be happier than I always was. Yes. And I will tell her again, just I know I eventually did it. Work on your marriage, your union with your husband. There was a time when it looked like I just feel like my husband is not even waiting with me. I felt so alone. I used to like feel like I'm not even his family member because I don't have children for him. So there were just a lot of misconceptions and things that just were filled up in my brain. I would tell myself to remove all those negativity, block my ears to all of those things, focus on whatever path I have agreed to go on this motherhood journey. Focus on it, do what you have to do, but then live your life to the fullest. And I've told her to start the community earlier.
Love it. I love it so much. And
Yeah.
the last question I'm going to ask is the question I ask all my guests. If your life had a song soundtrack right now, what would that song be and why?
You should have
I told you before, right? So you can think
yeah, I
about it.
told you because I'll think of the song because right now I think I'm going blank. The song would be all the glory must be to the Lord, for he is worthy of our praise. No man on earth should give glory to himself. All the glory must be to the Lord.
Yes, amen. Amen. All glory to God. You haven't like I remember when I saw your post on Instagram, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like I was so happy for you. And we don't like chit chat like that much, right? Aside from like the occasional messaging. But I remember had a conversation with a mutual friend when I went to Nigeria. Your name came up and she was just like, she's praying for you and all those things. And I was just so happy that this journey has reached to this point that you were able to get what you manifested with your mouth, Mama Ejima, and it happened for you. So I'm so excited. Please tell the people where they can find your book, Date Unknown. So if people want to
It's
buy
on
it.
Amazon, it's on Seller. Yeah. Maybe when you post, I can give you the link. So
I'll post all those things on the on.
yeah, it's on Seller. For those in Nigeria, it's on Seller. It's easier to just buy it from Seller. Then if you are abroad, just get it from Amazon. For now, what we have on the Amazon is the ebook because I had some issues with them with the cover, but I've rectified that now, and I will take it. I'll upload it soon so people can also get the hard copy. But it's okay to the ebook is just as good as the hard copy.
Okay, well, wonderful. Thank you for sharing your story with us. It was amazing. I wish we had more time to even talk more, but maybe we'll have
Yeah.
you back in a couple of months so you can talk about the motherhood journey itself.
Like, girl,
Uh, but
this
enjoy.
is sports. It's not. It's a sport. Like it's like interesting. That's just the word I keep saying interesting. Yes, I just keep saying interesting because of everything I'm just watching. Like just watching two human beings just grow and change and become. My book is really good. Someone even sent me a message today telling me that she's on her 50 of waiting and that it has encouraged her. So I even have people that have read it. I'm like, oh, this book is not even only for waiting women. If you're going through anything that is like is lingering in your life, you are going to find um something from the book. And yeah, yeah. I think I believe that this book was written more under inspiration than my brain because sometimes when I pick it up and I read the page, I'm like, who wrote that? And it's just interesting. I've read this book like 3 times and I wrote it. And it's quite easy to read.
And I think it's an inspirational story. Like, I think you are an inspiration. Like being able to go through what you went through and still come out honestly positive, right? Like positive. Yes, you might have apprehension and fear, but I see positivity. I see excitement. I see that you're still creating community for other women waiting. And so, yeah, I think you should just embrace this new journey, your new title, Mommy Ejima. And I'm so happy for you. So.
For real, yeah. There's a lot more to talk about when I'm ready because of like maybe the journey of having the children and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
So
we'll do part two.
probably. So yeah, that's it for now. Yeah. So let's
Yeah.
just
Thank you. Thank you so much for being on the show.
thank you for having me. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for having
Please get some rest too, if you can.
me. I try.
All right.
It's I don't even know the word. So you are exhausted, but you are happy doing it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for
Thank you for
listening,
having
everyone. Yeah,
me.
of course. We will catch you in
Yeah.
the next episode. Take care. Bye.
Bye.